Yeah, absolutely. We're at the Old Rainier Brewery. The event space is called Factory Lux. And of course, we've got concessions and a really great kind of hangout area outside, so you come early and enjoy some time in the sun. Yeah, well, we have a transmedia gallery. And so transmedia is just other forms of digital storytelling. It includes film, but it gets into a lot of other areas like interactive documentaries and storytelling through video games, music videos, dance and performance. And so we have a gallery with some really amazing exhibits, including some artists who have done some augmented reality. So they've got some paintings on the wall, and then when you view them through like an iPad, the paintings completely come to life. It's really amazing. The challenge for us is as things become more consumer level, like everybody's kind of got the virtual reality goggles now, is we really need to be staying on kind of the cutting edge, the forefront, what the artists are doing. Yeah, well, on the drive over here, Will and I were talking about Wise Medicine.
Wise Medicine is a film by a Chicago filmmaker, and basically her name is Deborah Libby, and the film was made in Peru and here in the U.S., and it's interviews about people that are looking to take a spiritual journey that isn't necessarily religiously based. And oftentimes what people find themselves doing is going down to Peru and having a shamanic experience that involves hallucinogenic materials like ayahuasca. Exactly. And so she does a really nice job of kind of putting together the journey that she's taken in the last 5 years of going back and forth between Peru and her own healing practice in Chicago. And she's also trans, which is another interesting element of the film, which she doesn't really actually focus on that much in the film at all. It's actually kind of a side note more to the actual healing aspects of the ayahuasca. But I think what she talks about a little bit in the film is how the ayahuasca experiences have helped with the transition for her. And it was an eye-opening film for me. It kind of blew my mind. It's a beautiful film. And that plays on Saturday at 3 p.m. And you can also go to stiff.eventbrite.com, to get tickets for that. But we have some really interesting selections this evening as well. We're doing and then a music video block this evening at 8 p.m., for which we have a bunch of local filmmakers.
And not every story needs to be told with, dialogue or people talking. These are stories that are told through dance, performance, and movement. Some very strong stories told through these films.
As a festival, Tim and I are always programming films that have a strong narrative. It's not something that, even if it's a dance film, even if it's an experimental film, oftentimes we find ourselves watching experimental films where, we're having a little trouble with whether there is even a narrative involved. So what we end up looking for is the experimental films, the music videos, the dance films that have that strong, A through Z narrative, and where you actually see characters follow an arc.
I know we keep talking about documentaries, but on Saturday at 11 p.m. we have a documentary called Bring Something Sexy. And so this really nice girl, Christy, growing up, she was told she couldn't be a model. She wasn't attractive enough. She wasn't tall enough. She didn't have the right body type, and she didn't listen to any of that. And she created a career for herself as an independent model. She's doing amazing, and she created a film. She's directing the film. She's in the film. It includes a lot of other alternative models, and it's really one of those films that is extremely inspirational.
I'm really excited about is a documentary about a woman firefighter. And basically, her name is Brooke Guinan, and she's the first New York City firefighter that is a trans firefighter. And she goes deeply into her experience, her familial experience, how people within the firehouse react to the fact that she's trans. And it's amazing how, as a community, the firefighters absolutely rally around her, and her family. She's a fifth generation firefighter, and she goes a little bit into how her partner is supporting her, and how he really he encourages her to do everything that she's doing in such a warm-hearted and just a lovely way. And that's going to be Sunday at 11 a.m. And that's something that I highly encourage everyone to come out and see, because it's such a beautiful message. It's a message of hope, and it's a message of understanding, and it's a message that I think we all kind of need to start wrapping our heads around, because it's time.
We kind of made a very conscious change a couple of years ago to treat our filmmakers, as real partners in the festival. It's just really been, it was kind of a subtle change, but at the same time, we've had an amazing reaction from our filmmakers.
We're not just a platform for films to be shown anymore. We're kind of a community meeting space, and that's really what Tim and I have been working toward over the last couple of years in terms of actually growing the festival.
Usually we set up like 2-hour blocks, and we pretty much fill those 2 hours with either a bunch of short films or a feature film and a couple of short films, and we usually give ourselves about 5 minutes to kind of clean up the theater and get the people out and get the new people in. So, but I keep seeing these films, and we always say we're not going to jam it so full, and then we keep finding amazing content and stuff that we want to feature, so we just keep packing it in.
We're like kids at a candy store sometimes. We just can't stop.
If you're thinking out there and you're thinking about making a film, you just don't know where to get started, come down to STIFF and just start talking to people. It's one of those things where being successful at STIFF helps you get into other festivals, and it really helps develop your career.
Well, we love you
thanks.
too, Susan,
Yes.
so thank you so much for having on your show.
Thank you very much for
And
having us.
everybody come on down to STIFF this weekend. We still have today, Saturday, and Sunday, and you can get your tickets at www.stiff.eventbrite.com.